watching WUFT Midday.
Donald Trump is the first American president to receive a second state visit to the UK. Presidents typically only get one invitation to meet with British leaders. This is WUFT Midday. I'm Marleigh Brown.
And I'm Michael Orlando. WFT's Corzo joins us live in the studio and tells us from royal pomp at Windsor Castle to loud protests in London. Security is tight and stakes are high.
President Trump greeted with full military honors at Windsor Castle, while police launched an incredible security presence. The president's visit with the royals comes as the countries work on trade deals and look for ways to end wars in Gaza and Ukraine that, despite the president's peace efforts, appear to be ramping up. Outside, protesters chanted and unfurled signs, some slamming Trump's ties to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, others calling for action in Gaza and Ukraine. The visit heightened security efforts. Police were present on land, air, and water.
We're going to be doing high visibility patrols, some searching, some specialist searching in and around the area.
Trump's visit ends with a royal banquet in Windsor Castle. Tomorrow, President Trump heads to meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at his country estate. The president says that the Prime Minister wants to refine their US-UK trade deal. Live in the studio, Corzo, WUFT News.
Hollywood is mourning legendary actor and director Robert Redford. His publicist said Redford passed away at his home in Sundance in the mountains of Utah, the place he loved, surrounded by those he loved. Redford was known for starring in roles in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and All the President's Men. He also directed award-winning films such as Ordinary People and A River Runs Through It. Redford was 89 years old.
Justices will decide whether President Trump's tariffs are legal under the International Economic Powers Act. President Trump imposed sweeping tariffs, but as WUFT's Madison Ginsberg reports, a ruling against Trump could cost his administration hundreds of millions of dollars.
Have started to feel the effects of President Trump's tariffs that were implemented back in 2025. The Sweetwater Organic Coffee Company has been navigating the way they sell this little bean. Sweetwater Organic Coffee Company gets their beans imported from places like Peru, Colombia, and Guatemala. Since sweeping tariffs announced by President Trump earlier this year, the coffee company co-op has had to pay over $1 million extra to get their product. Co-owner Trip Pomeroy says their business model prepared them for this economic challenge.
Instead of rushing out when the market hit a high in February, March, right, and just doing a one-time price increase, we stopped and regrouped.
The company moved to a dynamic pricing system.
What this system has allowed us to do is it allowed us to roll out incremental increases only as the higher cost inventory hit our warehouse.
Wentong Zhang, a professor of law, says some businesses rely on tariffs to increase their competitiveness. In November, the Supreme Court will convene to determine whether IEEPA delegates a tariff authority.
If the Supreme Court strikes down the tariffs, it is a signal from the Supreme Court that the court is not going to rubber stamp the administration's claim of presidential emergency authority.
If the tariffs are overturned, the government may have to refund up to $1 trillion. Zhang says if the Supreme Court were to rule in favor of the Trump administration, that would be an unprecedented expansion of executive authority. For the Sweetwater Organic Coffee Company, they continue to meet with coffee partners around the world. The co-owner is headed to Peru at the end of this month to meet with trading partners and discuss changes in this current economic environment and how they continue to move forward. For now, this little bean is fueling co-owner Trip Pomeroy through the unknown. At the Sweetwater Organic Coffee Company, Madison Ginsberg, WUFT News.
Tropical storm Gabrielle has officially formed the Atlantic, and the UF weather team is tracking another system behind it. UF Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller joins us live in the weather studio.
Yeah, here we are, and finally we've been talking about Gabrielle, and it is finally formed as a tropical storm. The National Hurricane Center, though, has it perhaps as a hurricane. As we get towards the weekend, you'll notice, though, the track remains out to sea. We'll talk more about that and that other little disturbance behind it coming up in just a few minutes. In the meantime, low temperatures tonight, or last night, we should say, 59 degrees in Gainesville. Look at 59 Lake City, 55 in Live Oak. That is definitely a fall-like air mass for sure. Current temperature is 84. Notice humidity and dew point fairly low, so that's fairly comfortable outside. We'll warm up nicely today, but still nonetheless, it will not be very summer-esque at all. 87, pretty much where we are right about now. 3 o'clock, 91. By the time we head to 6 o'clock, we're at 89 degrees. We'll look at more at Gabrielle and the weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
New at noon, a Polk County man is set to be killed by lethal injection tonight. David Pittman was convicted in 1991 for murdering his estranged wife's sister and parents. A jury found that he stabbed them to death and then tried covering up the killings by setting the house on fire. He was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Pittman is set to be executed at the state prison in Rayford at 6 this afternoon. This is Florida's 12th execution this year.
In what is an unprecedented number of executions, Governor DeSantis has signed a 14th death warrant for the man convicted of murdering 2 women in Hillsborough County. Back in 1996, 72-year-old Samuel Smithers killed Denise Roach and Christy Cohen and dumped their bodies in a pond. Florida has set a record by executing 11 other inmates. 2 more are scheduled to be executed later this month. Smithers is set to die by lethal injection on October 14th.
Alachua County school officials are making plans to better protect their students. They meet this week to detail their campus safety plans. WFT's Jessica Wilkinson spoke to the superintendent about the collaboration she's hoping will keep more students safe.
Officials met with the superintendent to just have a quick conversation on what safety looks like in Alachua County. I spoke with one woman who is concerned for students everywhere, not just in this district.
After an increase in school shootings and threats in the last decade, no proposed solution has been able to completely solve the issue. According to the news organization Axios, researcher David Reedman found Florida schools saw 71 firearm incidents from 2013 to 2023, more than 3 times the incidents in the prior decade. Sometimes, these dangers can hit close to home. Howard W. Bishop Middle School reported threats according to the Gainesville Police Department. GPD's response? Increased law enforcement presence in the area. Community member Larissa Gifford disagrees with its approach to the ever-growing issue of school safety.
I think that it is a poor excuse for not having safer gun measures.
Alachua County Superintendent Dr. Kamala Patton says collaboration between schools and police could be an answer to the issue.
I call that a collective impact where 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2, really equals 3, because you get that leverage from everyone.
The meeting highlighted the county's efforts to keep kids safe, yet some are still wary if more police presence will be a lasting solution.
We are just being led to accept that that's a part of our culture, and that can feel really, really helpless because I don't want my children to be a casualty.
Patton says the ACPS is ready to start a partnership between law enforcement as soon as possible.
The superintendent is really just stressing collaborative efforts here. She says she believes this is one of the most effective ways in keeping kids safe in schools. In Gainesville, Jessica Wilkinson, WUFT News.
The results are in for Ocala's mayor and city council member election. Incumbent Marciano was re-elected with 84% of the vote. He defeated 20-year-old Zachary Feliciano, who is running for his first public servant position. For the District 3 City Council seat, incumbent Jay Musla earned 50% of the vote, beating out Mark Clark and Tambora Jenkins. But voter turnout was scarce, and an area resident says needs to get better.
Everybody is very motivated to vote during the presidential elections, but really what shapes your community is these local elections.
Only 11% of eligible voters placed their ballots this election. That's compared to an 80% turnout in November's presidential race.
Starting this month, more police officers are on Gainesville roads working to keep you safe. GPD is participating in the Florida Department of Transportation's High Visibility Program. Officers will be watching drivers, bikers, and pedestrians to catch unsafe activity. GPD's participation in the program comes as Alachua County ranks in the top 25 Florida counties for deadly crashes.
Travelers now have more convenient parking options while flying out of Gainesville. The Gainesville Regional Airport parking garage is now open to the public. GNV Public Relations and Marketing Manager Aaron Porter says it's been a long time coming for customers to enjoy this new convenience.
It's just one more way that our passengers, our visitors, can enjoy the ease, the simplicity, the calm atmosphere here at the Gainesville Regional Airport, and it just makes traveling that much better, that much easier.
The 4-story garage offers 418 spaces and 16 electric vehicle charging stations. The daily parking rate is $16, but other options are still available with lower rates.
The mayor of Ocala is inviting you to work up a sweat. Residents can join Mayor Ben Marciano, recently re-elected, for a high-intensity interval training and yoga class. All ages and abilities are welcome to participate. You can pull up those sweatbands tomorrow afternoon. Marciano will be there from 6 to 7 at the E.D. Kroski Recreation Center.
Live Oak residents can take a look at local masterpieces this week. The Live Oak Library is hosting Art Fest 25, an annual art festival run by the Live Oak Artist Guild. Local artists submitted their best work with the chance to be displayed, and over 60 entries have made the cut. You can check out the exhibit during normal library hours until this Friday.
Tri-County is inviting you to the world's greatest baby shower. The free event is for expecting parents in Dixie, Levy, and Gilchrist County. You can join the family fun this Friday from 10 a.m. to noon at the Haven Community Center in Chiefland.
A new zipline park in Newberry lets guests soar above Hale Quarry and honors a total thrill seeker. And after WUFT's Ciara Carle went there earlier this month to see it for herself, there's no doubt he would approve.
Zip at Hale Quarry is home to 6 lines, including the Double Dragon, Florida's longest zip line, and Jordan's Jamboree, Florida's longest ADA-compliant zip line, named in honor of the creator's son. Casey Glant lost her son Jordan when he was only 4. He had cerebral palsy, but that never stopped him from doing what he loved.
He was a daredevil, no fear kind of a guy.
So when Glant had the idea to build a zipline park, she knew it needed an accessible line. Even though Jordan's Jamboree proved to be the most expensive and time-consuming line to build, Glant knows it's what her son would have wanted.
With that spirit, that was very clearly communicated, even though he did not have any words for me.
She says the project was bittersweet for her, but its mission is simple: fun.
Every day here at work is just fun, so we really enjoy it, and we really enjoy making people happy.
So far, everybody came down there always got a big bright smile on their faces.
Even though Jordan can't be here to ride the line named after him, Glant knows he would have loved it.
Just picturing him watching and then just having this big grin on his face that when he saw other people are having a good time, and I knew he would be very pleased.
You can get a full-day pass, which gets you all 6 lines for $115, or a half-day pass for $65. Ciara Carle, WUFT News.
All right, got to tell you, I love that story, working out with the mayor of Ocala. Your Honor, it's a nice day in the big city. 84 degrees our current temperature. Are we going any higher? We'll have a look at your forecast straight ahead.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. It's shaping up to be a nice day out as we take a live look at I-75 through Paynes Prairie. The sunshine is out as we tick up towards the 80s this noon hour.
How about that? Looks pretty nice out there, doesn't it? You'll notice, though, in that picture on the interstate there with the sky, that's sort of a milky looking view there. Those are clouds well to our south. In fact, that's part of a system that's actually hundreds of miles away, well to our south. Meantime, not bad. 84 is a popular number from Ocala, Gainesville. Stark, you're at 85. Palatka at 84 degrees. So all in all, not too bad. Humidity, yeah, it's held in check. Dew points fairly low. We have this gradient here. So 71 in Ocala. Yeah, it's getting a little sticky when you're talking about 70s. 66 in Gainesville. Again, that's a dew point. You're talking the 50s. Very comfortable. So you could feel, 89, 90 degrees and it doesn't feel too bad. Gabrielle, here she is. It is a hot mess at the moment. All this sort of spiky stuff that you see, that's called wind shear. So wind shear and dry air, horrible for storm development. But nonetheless, it has overcome a little bit of that. And now we have ourselves a tropical storm. And here is the path the Hurricane Center has, Gabrielle. Notice it stays out to sea, but as a Category 1 hurricane. So definitely from the Hurricane Center, and pretty much I would agree, as a Cat 1. But notice that curve. Again, this stays out to sea. There's another little system coming off the Atlantic right now. Doesn't mean much, but it's something we're going to watch very, very closely. Give you an idea of where we're at here. September 16th. That was thereabouts where we're at here. Obviously, as we go through September, we still have a long way to go. November 30th is the end of hurricane season. Here is Futurecast. Let's look ahead. We're going to start for tomorrow. Today is fine. You notice all these little clouds and 1 or 2 little sprinkles pop up at best. I'm going to keep that rain chance less than 20%, so therefore really not even going to keep it in the forecast. We're just going to call it partly cloudy. The best chance of rain is from Orlando south with that system. Here we are into about Thursday afternoon. Again, that's looking fine. This pops up a shower near Ocala down to the villages. Not going to rule it out, but probably unlikely. I think, again, we're going to remain dry. Temperatures coming up for tonight, 66 Gainesville, Ocala 67. Notice low 60s near Lake City, right? We were in the 50s tonight. So that's not going to be happening for tomorrow night. As we get into Thursday, 92 Gainesville, Live Oak at 92, generally the 90s. So again, we're going to start to warm it up here in the next few days. The weekend forecast, 92 Saturday. Sunday's our next front that comes in, gives us a chance of a shower, not much, but about 30%. So we'll do 89 degrees. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. And you'll notice the trend is pretty consistent. Temperatures pretty much remain 90, 92 with that front and some clouds. Sunday and Monday's probably our best shot at some rain, and then we'll bring those temperatures back up next week. That's your forecast.
Well, Tim, hopefully Gabrielle won't impact any travel plans, but as the temperatures cool, so do prices for airfare and hotels. Travel experts say fall is a great time to book a trip and save. Reporter Jen Sullivan tells us where to find those big savings.
Do you have the end of summer blues and want to get away? Now is the perfect time to book a trip.
Travel's all about supply and demand.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, says now through mid-November, airlines and hotels start slashing prices.
Destinations are less crowded, kids are back in school, and it's what we call the shoulder season.
Many places in Europe offer major discounts on hotels during the fall.
You can still see spectacular weather throughout the fall in places like Europe.
If you want to travel to see some beautiful fall colors, Whistler, Canada is a great option. Your dollar will go further in Canada. The exchange rate as of Monday is $1.38 for every US dollar. Many cruises have great deals this time of year. Royal Caribbean Cruises offers big savings for any cruise booked now through October 2nd. A second guest is 60% off with a full paying guest.
It is hurricane season during the fall, so you have to remember through the Caribbean and Mexico that this could be potentially a threat to your vacation experience.
Looking to travel somewhere warm domestically? San Diego offers great discounts for families in October. The entire month, kids under 11 get in for free at major attractions like the San Diego Zoo. That saves $66 per child over the age of 3 right there. SeaWorld and many other museums also have free admissions for kids in October. If you're looking to really save, Kaufman says the cheapest time to travel is the week of November 17th. That's the week before Thanksgiving. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
It's not too late to be thinking about Christmas. That's because kids can now start sending letters to Santa. Under Operation Santa, the Postal Service links letters writer with generous people and groups who help grant their holiday wishes. Some important tips: the envelope needs to include the writer's full name and return address and Santa's address. It's Santa 123 Elf Road, North Pole 88888. Letters need to be postmarked by December 6th. Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Juan Sebastián González con tus noticias en 90 segundos. Residentes protestan contra la política de ICE en las escuelas públicas del condado de Alachua. Ayer por la tarde, los residentes de Gainesville manifestaron exigiendo que los funcionarios de ICE no puedan interrogar y detener estudiantes inmigrantes sin su consentimiento. Los manifestantes piden al distrito seguir los protocolos adaptados en otros condados, como verificación de documentos. Padres, estudiantes y maestros dicen que los funcionarios escolares han evitado abordar sus preocupaciones públicamente. Hoy, a las 6 de la tarde, se lleva a cabo la ejecución número 12 en el año de Florida, un récord estatal. David Joseph Pittman, de 63 años, fue condenado por un triple asesinato, incendio provocado y hurto en 1990. La defensa de Pittman alega discapacidad intelectual y pidió a la Corte Suprema de los Estados Unidos una suspensión. Sin embargo, la Corte Suprema de Florida negó frenar la ejecución y el gobernador Ron DeSantis firmó la orden el 15 de agosto. Hasta el momento, 2 ejecutaciones se llevarán a cabo, una el 30 de octubre y el otro el 14 de octubre. El presidente Donald Trump visitó por Wilkinson su segunda vez en la visita del Estado al Reino Unido. Trump y la primera dama Melania Trump fueron recibidos con carruaje, honores militares y una cena de Estado. La visita ya dejó un pacto tecnológico de $42.000 millones en inversiones de firmas como Microsoft, Nvidia y Google. El primer ministro, Keir Starmer, busca avances en comercio, incluidas tarifas al acero, el whisky y el salmón. Fuera del castillo Windsor hay manifestaciones y varios detenidos tras una proyección no autorizada. La visita formalmente iniciaría con una recepción encabezada por el rey Carlos III. Y esas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
I'm Jelianis Ramos with your Midday Sports. There's more chaos in the swamp. University of Florida Associate Head Coach Jabbar Jalouk has been suspended for 3 games, the SEC announced late Tuesday night. We received video from WBRZ2 that shows last week's game between UF and LSU. Tensions were high, which led to a pregame scuffle between players and coaches. It can be seen running back coach Jabbar Jalouk going back and forth, pointing fingers at players and staff from the other team, clearly frustrated. Together, the SEC and the University of Florida have agreed to suspend UF coach Jabbar Jalouk for 3 games, which includes this week's away game against in-state rival Miami, the October 4th game against Texas at home, and the October 11th game on the road against Texas A&M. Following the release of the report, Florida head coach Billy Napier talked about the incident. Coach Jalouk's action prior to our game against LSU are not up to the standard of our program. Coach Jalouk is a man of character and has taken full responsibility for his actions. I believe Coach Jalouk will learn from this experience and be better for it. Under the Tuesday lights, there were multiple local high school volleyball teams in action. Gainesville at home beat Forest in 4 sets 3-1. Santa Fe swept Columbia at home, and Newberry lost in 5 sets to Palaca on the road. Head coach Billy Napier had a teleconference this morning. Updates to come on First at 5. And that's your Midday Sports. I'm Jelianis Ramos.
Before we go, let's get one last check-in on the weather. Tim, it's looking a lot colder.
Colder? Well, it's if you're inside with the air conditioning, but outside, yeah, it's not too bad. Humidity's held in check. Temperatures, though, warming up into the 90s over the next couple days. Next rain chance decently, guys, is Sunday and Monday. But it will get colder, I promise.
I hope so. Thanks for joining us for WFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later tonight for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.